Hello, my name is Timothy Chlupsa, and I'm here to discuss my PowerPoint program on effective work culture. Developing an effective work culture is an ongoing process for organizations, and successful ones are consistently developing and working to improve conditions. The work environment at 88.1 The Bridge, KPJM radio, that's the one I'm making the example for, and I have programming on the radio station as well, has purpose, connections, it's positive, it's informative, and it's entertaining. Those are the benchmarks of 88.1 The Bridge, KPJM. Choices organizations should make to create an effective work environment, such as collaborative effort. That's one thing we use at KPJM. Utilizing a people-oriented organization culture is another one. The station is a Class A educational license facility, and the work environment is a flexible one. A person is more likely to thrive when they're given the freedom to decide how to do their work. Another effective strategy, always be learning about the market. Set goals. You've got to have the foresight in mind. Focus on the long term and plan to perform well in the future. Now, at 88.1 The Bridge, it's a community radio station. We involve the community in regard to nonprofit organizations and also to underwriting. It's not necessarily what you would consider a regular commercial, but it's an underwriting sponsor, and there's certain criteria that they must meet. There's no call to action in the announcements made, but we can say who the business is, what they have, what they provide, their hours of operation, their address, how to get a hold of them. That's all a part of being an underwriting sponsor of 88.1 The Bridge, KPJM. Once again, this radio station is licensed to the town of Payson and surrounding areas. It's a non-commercial broadcast venue, and it's required to maintain programming like all radio stations in the public interest and principally remain not-for-profit. These considerations are all linked to a central mission statement of 88.1 The Bridge, KPJM. Together, we are better. Now, in regard to meeting culture goals, we keep in mind a market gap. Now, the market has one commercial radio station and 3 low-power nonprofit stations at this time. 88.1 The Bridge, once again, is about ready to go from the low-power station format to a Class A educational full-power station format. Customers, Rim Country constitutes over 20,000 in the area, potential listeners from Payson, Pine, Star Valley, and surrounding communities. The Rim Country Chamber of Commerce hosts over 24 businesses, and a lot of those members are already underwriting sponsors or supporters of the programming on KPJM. Once again, it is making that cultural connection. You have stakeholders that are underwriters, and they're a part of the work culture. They're a part of the being on air culture. From time to time, we have those businesses featured. As a matter of fact, we have a program starting very soon called Here's What's Happening in Rim Country. That gives nonprofits the ability to have their promotions on the air, what they've got going on for fundraising efforts. Craft shows, we've got car shows going on. We also have Arizona Game and Fish on, too. They're a not-for-profit organization, as a matter of fact, and we recently had them on their program. One of their programs was on the All Outdoors program that's featured every Thursday evening from 6 to 6:30. To meet cultural goals for 88.1 The Bridge, an element of culture that should be adhered to is always these principles. Be positive and moving and thinking forward. Keep the staff motivated. In any business, a productive and engaged workforce is a very valuable asset. And at KPJM, there certainly is a lot of folks that work together and they stay motivated because they believe in the community. That's probably the most important thing. So the culture involves the community as well. It's not just an exclusive station out there playing music and not having anybody from the community involved. Everybody from the community is involved and has a voice. We frequently give the phone number for the radio station. We frequently give the email address for the radio station where people can leave their comments. It connects the station to the listening audience and furthers that cultural connection. Ultimately, the goals of the station mission statement and its personnel. We close the gap. We Know that efficiency comes from effort, and we do the best to get our programming, the programming that the community wants to listen to. Creating a culture of creative input to reach a common goal is an integral process. It's possible for an organization's cultural environment to increase or decrease with a level of creative stress from employees. This is something I'm going to address at this point. So once again, we had established that the employees are basically autonomous, can work basically their hours, what they need to do. There are certain programming elements that have to be on at a certain time, but they aren't necessarily live venues. Those can be pre-recorded, as what we're doing right now. The best predictor of what people will do is what they're incentivized to do. By incentives, we mean the full set of incentives. They could be monetary rewards, non-monetary rewards, such as status, recognition that is, and advancement. But keep in mind, at 88.1 The Bridge, it is nonprofit. The financial element doesn't necessarily factor in, but the success of the radio station comes from that fulfillment that you are integral to the community. You are a part of the community. And again, that creates its own culture. With the radio station and the community involved, community leaders, nonprofit organizations, everybody has a voice. It's very unique. The Bridge offers programming and content unique to the listeners. It's a unique music format with public affairs programming, an unparalleled quality and consistency in the radio station remaining on air, and a very, very high grade, very easy to listen to quality signal. Demographic survey and solicitations are put into programming consistently, and it's up to date, it's local, it's serving the public interest in Rim Country, probably the most important thing. Some specific details on the elements of the culture that are being developed for 88.1 The Bridge include asking if programming makes sense, a collaborative process of creating shared awareness and understanding out of different individuals in the community. In comparison, National Public Radio is something that's fairly close to the type of programming elements or the format that we have to follow for 88.1 The Bridge. National Public Radio, of course, being nonprofit. National Public Radio has similar organizational culture models. NPR is required to be a nonprofit in its licensing. Numerous affiliates around the nation carry common programming that benefits stations that are served. Individual affiliates for NPR is the flagship station in Washington, D.C. and in Culver City, and then many of the local communities have NPR affiliacies. For example, KNAU at Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff. And as far as specialized programming or a specialized audience, NAU has an emphasis on serving the Native American audience because their signal reaches all the way up into Navajo country. Growth strategies are something that are very integral to successful organization. And one of the models that is used is 88.1 The Bridge, is the SMART goals, the goals of strategy for the next 5 years, specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant and timely goals are forward-thinking model that keeps the staff out of that day-to-day grind or nearsighted and has them looking forward to the future. Utilizing a growth strategy, especially in broadcast media, sets the on-air product in a different light from other signals in the area. When you want to know what's going on, you listen to 88.1 The Bridge. You've got to know that the community is involved at 88.1 The Bridge. Through consistency, collaboration, and communication, we maintain the company culture, and that business model comes through research, design, and success of the format. And again, employees are interested, employees are relaxed, there's a flexible work environment. Being flexible in working conditions, having the ability to work online from at home is very important, as we witnessed during the pandemic that took place. And there's a lot of programming that we're able to do from outside sources that we're able to link, and everybody can hear that on kpjm-fm.com. Well, hopefully you've been enlightened and informed and entertained, that is, about the environment for an effective work culture. I'm Tim Chlupsa. Thanks for listening.